kung pwede, meron kayong mga papel or ballpen para mag-take down kayo. Kasi parang pumapasa ang nagsusulat or pumapasa ang mga nagbabasa. So please, yung mga practical tips, yung mga key concepts or salient points, pwede nyo siya isulat as we go along with the discussions. Okay, so let's start. So my presentation outline, so we will be discussing about the comprehensive land use plan. So ano ba yung legal mandates? Although alam ko last week medyo pinagdaanan nyo ng ibang legal mandates ng CLUP. So you have already the RPS and then yung local government codes and yung nature of local government unit and yung alignment or relationship to the higher level plans, the 12-step clue process. Ito. And then, yung comprehensive land use, comprehensive development plan, legal mandates, alignment din doon sa higher level plans, and yung 5-step CDP process. Kung na-discuss prior, yung 45% of the ENP board exam, doon po pumapasok yung planning process. So malaking bulk ito ng percentage sa ENP board exam. So kaya yung iba talaga medyo pag nagre-review, mas nag-focus sila doon sa planning process kasi nga 45%. So makinig habang nagdi-discuss po tayo. But before that, siguro diagnostic exam muna. Okay, game na ba? Ayan, question number 1. In the National Framework for Physical Planning 2021 to 2030, settlement, productions, protection, and infrastructure are discussed as A, key economic functions of any LGU. B, land use zones that exclude one another. C, land use policy areas whose functional relationship have been to be fleshed out at the local level. D, primary district and urban designs that have to be delineated in each town or city. So what is the answer? Ayan, madaming C. C, B. Ayan. The answer is letter C. Ayan. So tama, majority of the participants. Okay, C. Number 2. All of the following steps are relevant to land use planning, but one is least used in land use allocation. So ano yung pinaka least use doon sa ating land use allocation? A, land use accounting. B, scenario analysis. C, life cycle analysis. D, spatial modeling. So ano yung pinaka least use doon? Letter C, C. Ayan. So tatandaan nyo, minsan ganito may mga questions sa board exam. So minsan nagmamadali tayong basahin, no? Pero hindi natin nakita na may list. So dapat binabasa natin. So the answer is letter C, life cycle analysis. Ayan. Majority ay tama lahat. Ayan. Number 3. Ayan. This process defines the physical platform of development at the local level and proceeds by systematically evaluating alternative patterns of resource use, choosing that use which meets specified goals and drawing up appropriate policies and programs directed to the best use of land and view of accepted objectives and of environmental and societal opportunities and constraints. So ano ito? This process defines the physical platform. Wala na tong multiple choice. You can chat sa chat box your answer. Land use planning, land use planning. Ayan. Parang konti ata sumagot nung hindi multiple choice, no? Natin. The answer is land use planning. Yan. Next question. An area in certain cities with regional shopping center, huge consumer malls, sports stadiums, high-rise hotels, and office towers is zoned as C1, Commercial 1, B, Commercial 3, C, C2, D, Tourism Zone, E, Financial District. Letter B. B. Ayan, the answer is letter B, C3. Ayan, ito, kadalasan may lumalabas din ganito sa board exam. Number 5, division of a city, municipality into zones or subzones according to present potential uses of land to maximize, regulate, and direct their use and development in accordance with CLU. Ano po ito? Wala ata ito again, multiple choice. Zoning, zoning. Yan. The answer is zoning. Yan. Zoning. I think this is the last question. So what color is used to represent industrial areas in zoning map? Ayan. May choices pala. Ayan, letter B, violet. Yan. Yan, so halos lahat ay tama. Meron ba naka-perfect score? Hindi pala natin ano, okay.
Violet.
Oo, violet. Ay, may last pa pala. Ito last one. What rational tool do planners use in selecting from alternative land use schemes? So ano yung ginagamit nating tool? A, cost-benefit analysis. B, checklist of criteria. C, linear programming. D, computer simulation. Letter A. May letter B na sumagot. Yan, cost-benefit analysis. Letter A. CBA. Ayan, so tapos na yung ating diagnostic exam. So let's proceed to the introduction of the comprehensive land use plan. Ayan, madami naman nakatama. So yun mga essentials na kadalasan lumalabas during the board exam. So introduction to the land use plan. So legal mandates. So I think napagdaanan nyo na rin ito during yung RPS as local government code. But for the sake of land use planning, so marami tayong mga legal mandates or legal bases. So ito, madalas din ito lumalabas. So halimbawa sa section 16, so of course unang-una, 1987 Constitution. So yung rule of state to regulate acquisition. Gusto ko ng pointer. Yan. Role of state to regulate acquisition, ownership, use, and disposition of property and its increment. So, baka may tanong, so halimbawa, sa 1987 Constitution, so anong sinasaad doon regarding sa regulate acquisition? And then, 1987 Constitution also, the use of property bears social functions and all economic agents shall contribute to the common good. Individuals and private groups, including corporations and cooperatives, and similar collective organizations shall have the right to own, to establish, and operate economic enterprise. In relation to local government code, yung section 16, sinasaad dito yung power of the local government for efficient and effective governance of its territorial jurisdiction. No? So pag nag-land use planning tayo, medyo territorial din jurisdiction natin. And then we want to promote general welfare. And LGU to ensure and support, and dapat nasa CLUP natin, balance, healthful ecology, preservation and enrichment of culture, healthy and safety enhancement of economic prosperity. Yan. Wait lang po, may... And then Section 20C of RA 7160. Ito, tatandaan nyo to, Section 20C of RA 7160. LGUs shall prepare CLUP enacted to, ano yung implementing tool ni CLUP? Zoning ordinance as the primary basis for future and use of resources. And then Section 4472, ito naman yung adapting the CLUP for the municipality. So based din ito sa Local Government Code, RA 7160. Yan. And enacting integrated zoning ordinance. So Section 4472 of RA 7160. Sa EO 72, ito naman nagmamandate sa lahat ng local government units to review and approval of the formulated CLUP by the LGRB and the Sangguniang Panlalawigan. LGRB now the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development. So, pag may lumabas sa board exam, anong executive order, number, yung may legal mandates to review and approve the formulation of CLUP by the DSUD and Sangguniang Panlalawigan. So, ang sagot ay EO 72. And another legal mandate, we have the UDHA, yung 7172, which defined the land use plan as the rational approach in allocating available land resources or equitably as possible. So yun yung ating UDHA, no? Defined the land use plan as the rational approach of allocating available lands. And then we have ito, bagong batas siya. So baka hindi natin alam, but we should be prepared na lang din. Baka lumabas din yung mga bagong laws. Although pag ENP board exam kasi parang marami pa rin yung mga lumang exams yung or lumang laws yung nilalabas. But for the preparation of everyone, baka basahin na lang natin yung RA 11201, yung Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development Act, which is the primary national government entity responsible for the management of housing, human settlements, and urban development, and the sole and main planning and policy-making, regulatory program coordination, and performance monitoring entity. So dito rin sa RA 11201, so nakamandates din yung lahat ng land use planning and monitoring function, including the imposition of penalties for the non-compliance of the LGUs to ensure and to follow the planning guidelines and implement their CLUPs and zoning ordinance. So baka lang may mga lumabas na bagong existing law, so kindly read na lang din yung buong provisions ng RA 11201. But baka yung iba nalilito, so wala na pong HLURB, yung Housing and Land Use and Regulatory Board. So meron na po tayong Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, which is mga nagre-review and nag-approve ng CLUPs ng highly urbanized and yung provincial. So yung DSUD ay yung merge po ni HUDC, yung Housing Urban Development Coordinating Council, and yung LGRB. So baka lumabas, so kindly note na lang din. Ayan, so tapos na tayo sa legal mandates, no? So yun yung mga key legal mandates in relation to land use planning. So now let's proceed. Ano nga ba yung local government unit? So I know na discuss na ito dati, baka napasadahan nyo na dati. But let's have a review. So, pag sinabi mong local government units, of course, CDILG talaga yun may primarily mandate to assist the local government units. So we have the provinces. So under provinces, we have component cities, cities, and then municipalities. And we have barangays. Then cities, independent for the province, no? So ito yung tinatawag natin independent component cities. So meron silang kakaibang charter, no? So hindi na sila dumadaan sa regions. And I think we have 38 independent component provinces or cities, and then we have the barangays. And then we have the autonomous region. So ito yung BARM natin, no? So provinces, cities, independence from the province, then component cities and municipalities, and then down to the barangay. So yung national to local government relationship. So gusto natin maintindihan na we have the national government, we have the provinces, component and municipal cities, independent component cities, and we have the provinces and independent cities from the autonomous regions. And then lowest unit of the government is the barangay. No? And then ito, as of March 2022, but please take note, baka pag sa exam, as of anong year. But ito, may nakuha tayong as of March 2022. So meron tayong 81 provinces. So, and we have 146 cities, 1,488 municipalities, and 42,046 barangays. So, kindly memorize na lang din, baka lumabas. So we have 81 provinces, 146 cities, and 1,488 municipalities, and 48,000 barangays. But ito ay as of 2022. So baka as you go along with your review, baka pwede niyo din tingnan kung ilan ba yung dating municipalities or barangays in 2015 or 2016, tulad ng sinasabi kanina na Abby, no? Baka kasi yung parang way ng exam, no? So in 2015, ilan yung ating barangay? So please take note on that. And then let's go back to the related concepts of local government units. So baka na-discuss na rin to, so pero pasadahan na lang natin for the sake of land use planning. So pag sinabi nating local government, we have decentralization, no? So decentralized generally refers to the systematic and rational disperse of power, authority, and responsibility from the center of periphery, from top to lower levels, or from national to governments. So, pinaka-main reasons for decentralization, gusto natin parang mas ma-hasten pa yung decision-making process by decongesting the central government. No? Gusto natin dinodecongest yung central government to the lower government. And then increases citizens' participation and powers by leading to a more open and democratic government. And yan. So we have major forms of decentralization in the Philippines. So una, deconcentration. So ito ay transfer of functions to lower level. And we have also devolutions, yung transfer of powers and authorities to lower level political or local government units. So actually, maganda rin ito na discuss natin kasi we have the Mandalas ruling. So alam to ng mga local government natin. So parang dinidevolve natin yung transfer of powers from the national government to the lower level political or local government units, has an elected executive and local legislative bodies that passes laws or ordinances, and has specific taxing power, no? has jurisdiction over a certain defined geographical area and political in nature. And that another one is yung debureaucratization, no? Yung transfer of powers and authorities to units not within the government, pero ito naman yung involvement ng mga civil society organizations. So yun yung ating three major forms of decentralization in the Philippines. So baka lang lumabas sa exam or yun, pwede nating balikan ulit to, no? Yung three major forms of decentralization of the Philippines, lalong-lalo na meron tayo ngayon na Mandalas ruling. And then major features. And then we have the RA 7160, major features of local government code. Gusto natin, ito ay may kinalaman din sa devolution, no? Gusto natin devolve to LGUs the responsibility of various aspects of basic services, no? That earlier were the responsibility of the local government. So gusto natin i-devolve sa local government units. And devolve to LGUs the responsibility for the enforcement of certain regulatory power. And provided the legal and institutional infrastructure for the participation of civil society in local governance, and increase the financial resources available to local government units. No? So kung sa LGU, kung you have resources, so dun kayo kukuha ng resources nyo to finance your services and other programs. And laid foundation for the development and evolution of more oriented local government units. Yan. So natures of local government units. So we have political and we have as a corporate. So political subdivisions. As a political, it is a subdivision of the national government instrument of the state to help carry out functions of the government or public government agency, and promotion of general welfare, devolved functions, and collection of tax. So yun yung as a political nature of the local government units. As a corporate entity or corporation representing the inhabitants or of its territory to administer its own private affairs. So private character. So ito yung parang right of succession, no, of title in its corporate name to hold and convey properties, borrow money, and to enter into contracts. So tatandaan natin na may dalawang nature ang local government units. So number one as political and number two as corporate. Then planning implications. No, according to Serote, no, si Sir Prof. Ernesto Serote. Planning implication of the local government units, gusto natin to manage its territory on behalf of the national state. So dito papasok din talaga yung comprehensive land use planning and to promote the general welfare of the inhabitants. So review ulit. So baka napasadahan nyo na, pero just relate natin sa LUP at sa CDP. So the national local planning linkage, no, at the national level we have the physical framework and comprehensive land use plan. Yan, national level. And we have for the socioeconomic development plans, meron tayong medium-term development plans, and for the investment, we have the medium-term Philippine Investment Program. So ito ay from the national agency plans and programs. For the regional, so naka-align lang din naman siya. So NPFP for the national. For the regional, we have the regional physical framework plan. For the provincial, we have the provincial development physical framework plan. And pagbaba sa local government units, dito yung comprehensive land use plan of the municipalities and cities. So kailangan, halimbawa, nag-LUP ka, nag-update kayo ng CLUP, LGU, kailangan tingnan natin yung mga higher level plans. Kailangan nakalink sa PDP-FP, nakalink sa regional PFP, and nakalink sa regional physical framework plan. So ano implication na halimbawa hindi natin tiningnan yung higher level plans or linkages doon sa other plans. So baka yung development trust ni LGU or yung spatial strategies ni LGU, yung priority programs ay hindi naka-align sa ating higher level plan. So that's why it's very important na while doing CLUP, you should also review yung mga higher level plans. No? And then for the socioeconomic development plans, we have the medium term Philippine Development Plan, no, yung PDP, and then regional development plan for the provincial comprehensive development plan. And pagdating sa LGU, dito na pumapasok ang ating comprehensive development plans. Yan, CT. And then doon din po sa investment programs, no? So national, medium term Philippine Investment Plan, regional meron din development investment plan, and then regions, and then LDIP at the local level. Yan. So, for the national, so balikan ulit natin yung National Physical Framework Plan. So ito, parang marami din, nung time ko madaming lumalabas dito sa National Framework for Physical Plan. So, National Framework Physical Plan, so provides the analytical parameters for the plant allocation, use, and management of the country's land and other physical resources. It is intended to serve as the framework through which the planning and management of these resources are guided at the national and sub-national levels. So we have the National Physical Framework Plan 2001 to 2013. So it's a long-term plan, no? So pag nakita nyo na merong questions sa boards, halimbawa, this provides the analytical parameters for plant allocation. So, National Framework for Physical Plan po yun. Yan. For the medium term, so pinakita natin, no, ito ay National Physical Framework Plan. But for the medium term Philippine Development Plan, we have the Philippine Development Plan. So 2017, timeline niya, 2017 to 2022. So malapit na siyang for updating, no? So NEDA board officially approved the Philippine Development Plan on February 20, 2017. And meron tayong 10-point socio-economic agenda. And we have the Ambition 2014, which is the long-term development plan or vision of the Philippines. And this is the main parts of the Philippine Development Plan. So, main parts of the Philippine Development Plan, we have the overview of the economy. So, we have the development challenges and development strategies. We have the enhancing the social fabric, inequality, reducing transformation, increasing growth potential, enabling support and economic environment, and foundations for inclusive and sustainable development. So, bakit ko nilagay yung main parts ng PDP? Kasi may mga times na minsan kahit tinatanong sa boards, ano yung main parts or salient provision or salient concepts ng mga plans. So, ito parang last time na tatanong ata yun. So, kaya nilagay ko yung main parts of the Philippine Development Plan. Yan. And then for the medium-term Philippine Investment Plan, so we have the 2017-2020, yung Public Investment Program. No? So ito ay 6-year programming document accompanying the Philippine Development Plan. And naka-anchored siya, lagi siyang naka-anchored to the long-term vision for the Philippines or yung tinatawag nating Vision natin 2040. Takes into account the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda and contains the priority programs and projects to be implemented by the national government, including yung mga GOCCs natin and other national government and instrumentalities. Incorporates, propose, implemented programs and projects in the regional development investment. So, yan, naka-incorporate siya sa regional development investment. And then the sectoral inputs of the local government units is intended to be spatially coherent with the Regional Development Investment Plan as part of the NEDA's continuing effort to link. Yan. Yan. So, we have the ambition natin 2040, so under investment programs pa rin, which represent the collective long-term vision and aspiration of the Filipino people for themselves, for the country in the next 25 years. So it describes the kind of life that people we want to live. So ito to, yung nasa baba, no? So matatag, maginhawa, and panatag. So ito yung mga indicators na tinitingnan natin. And ambition natin, 2040 is the result of long-term visioning process that began in 2015 and strongly rooted, comfortable, and secured. So yan, tinitingnan na natin yung national to local planning linkages. And then we have the regional. So regional, physical framework plan, regional development plan, and regional development investment program. So yun, baka matanong, so ilan as of 2022, so we have 17 regions. So 8 in Luzon, 3 in Visayas, and 6 in Mindanao. And then for the provincial, yung PDPFP, Provincial Comprehensive Land Use Plan, and the Provincial Investment Program. So, and yan, 81 provinces. We have 81 provinces. And then, yan, so for the, ito yung sample na Provincial Development and Fiscal Framework Plan. Yeah, for Bohol. So for the 81 provinces, PDPFP. And for the local government units, so ito yung mandated plans, CLUP, and then the comprehensive land use plan implemented through local development investment program. Yan. So question, which plan doesn't belong? NPFP, RPFP, MTPDP, CLUP, PDPFP. Sige, letter C. Ayan, tingnan natin yung sagot. So the answer is yes, the answer is letter C. Ayan. Marami bang nakatama? Ayan, madaming nakatama. Okay. Next. Meron tayong dalawang two mandated plans, no, at the local government unit. We have the Comprehensive Land Use Plan and the Comprehensive Development Plan. So Section 20 ulit ng RA 7160, so mandates LGUs to prepare a comprehensive land use plan enacted through zoning ordinance. So alalahanin natin, pag CLUP, implementing tool, zoning ordinance. Yan, enacted to zoning ordinance. While sections 106 to 109, yan, take down. So sections 106, 109 of the same code mandate the LGUs to prepare comprehensive multi-sectoral development plans or yung CDP and enacted or implemented through public investment programs, yung LDIP natin. And we have the yung ELA, yung term-based agenda. So later on, we will discuss ELA. So, meron tayong ilang mandated plans. Ito yung as per the DILG. So, meron daw 33 plans, mandated plans ang local government units. Nagagawa po ba ito lahat? Ang dami, no? Yan. So, for the national government agencies, so hindi ko na isa-isahin, but you can read the NGA mandated plan and the other sectoral thematic plans. No? Kasama dito yung local shelter plan. No? Yung local shelter plan actually parang gusto na rin natin siya ma-embed doon sa atin si LUP as subsector of the social. Kasi diba sa social meron tayong housing subsector. Yan. Yan, 33 plans. Now, let's proceed to ELA. So, ano ba yung executive legislative agenda? So, kanina sabi natin, meron mandated plans ang local government units. We have the CLUP and we have the comprehensive development plan. But meron din tayong tinatawag na ELA or yung agreement. No? It is a term-based plan called out from the comprehensive development plan, which contains the major development trusts and priorities of both executive and legislative branches for 3-year term of the office. The ELA is mutually developed and agreed upon by the executive and legislative departments of the local government units in consultation with the various stakeholders. Ang ELA po ay hindi po siya duplication ng CLUP or CDP, hindi po siya or hindi siya duplication ng CLUP at saka CDP, but para siyang implementing tool din para ma-fast track natin yung implementation ng CLUP at saka CDP. So hinuhugot lang natin, kinukuha natin doon yung mga pipeline programs, indicators ng CLUP at saka CDP. So ELA also is a document that contains the governance program of a province. So usually 3 years. So CLUP 9 years, CDP 6 years, but ELA is 3 years. Kotermino doon sa ating elected official. Kaya 3 years yung ELA. And ELA is a participatory process that promotes partnership between local government between local executive and legislative and the involvement of multi-stakeholders in the identification and programming of 3-year LGU development priorities. And it is an implementation instrument that strengthens the utilization of local government units information, other plans, and stakeholders' agenda, and that builds in the resources and capacities of required to carry out priorities. So, yun, kinakall out natin yung mga priority agenda, priority development trust ng LGUs into 3-year. Then, importance of ELA. Ano ba yung importance ng ELA? So, lead the executive and the legislative branches towards a unified vision, goals, and objectives. Enable the executive and legislative branches to agree on priority problems and issues, and help the local government units on a set of interventions toward the attainment of objectives and goals. Yan, increase chances for the implementation of priority programs. And yun, sinasabi ko kanina, ma-speed up or ma-fast track yung implementation ng mga priority programs and projects ng CLUP at saka ng CDP. So, relationship of ELA to other plans. Ayan. So, long-term plan, framework plan, we have the comprehensive land use plan, the implementing tool, zoning ordinance, And zoning, medium-term, comprehensive development plans. And then dapat yung pagbuo din natin ng CDP, no? So naka-align din sa ating mga barangay development and other sectoral plans. And then executive legislative agenda, yung ELA natin as implementation instrument of LUP at saka CDP. Yan. So major steps ng ELA. So redefining or revisiting the LGU vision. So binabalikan ulit natin yung vision ng LGU, dinidetermine natin yung vision reality gap, no? So yung VRG natin, and then formulating of sectoral goals and objectives. So formulating sectoral strategies, identifying programs and activities and legislative requirements, prioritizing programs, projects, and activities, and ranking and matching of prioritized PPAs and legislative requirements with available funds. So sinama lang natin yung process ng ELA just in case na matanong kung ano yung mga processes or major step of ELA. And then benefits of ELA for the governments, a planning and budgeting tool, a transparency and accountability tool, a social mobilization tool, a performance measurement tool, and communication tool, and convergence tool na yan. Convergence tool ng dalawang major plans, the CLUP and the CDP. Anan. Yan, for the CLUP. So, Section 20C, so wag niyo kakalimutan, shall continue to prepare respective CLUPs and other legal mandates. Right, so, yan. Mandated city plans, CDP, Section 106, Local Development Council. Each LGU shall have a comprehensive multi-sectoral plan. So ito yung general framework natin, no? Parang ito yung universe natin, no? So long-term plan, we have the comprehensive land use plan. So ano ba tinitingnan pag CLUP? So we have 4 policy areas. So we have settlement policies, production, protection, and infrastructure. So yun yung 4 policy areas ng CLUP. And implementing tool ni CLUP ay zoning ordinance. And we have also other regulatory measures like yung land tax, multi-year, multi-sectoral development plans. We have the comprehensive land use plan, and we have the 5 development sectors. No? So ano yung 5 development sectors natin? Social, economic, environmental, physical or infrastructure, and institutional. And we have the term-based agenda, which is the ELA. Yung comprehensive development plan, yung implementing tool natin is yung LDIP. No, we have the Local Development Investment Plan, and we have the Capacity Development Program, Monitoring and Evaluation Strategy, and then the legislative requirements and support. So these are the implementing tools of the Comprehensive Development Plan. Si LDIP, dapat na translate din siya into Annual Investment Plan, or yung tinatawag natin EIP, and then which will be the basis of annual budget ng local government units. Yan. So yung outputs natin, so dapat pag meron tayong CDP, CLUP, yung output, sample ay improve public services, increase private sector investment. And yung outcome, sample lang natin, halimbawa dito, outcome is the result-based change and economic and social well-being constituents. So ito yung ating universe in terms of LGU mandated plans. Tatandaan natin pag CLUP, 9 years. Pag CDP, Bakit 9 years din, no? Coterminous din siya doon sa ating elected local officials. Pag CDP, we have 6 years, and ELA, 3 years, and AIP, 1 year. Yan. So, ano yung ating rationale of land use planning? So, ito na-discuss na, siguro ito sa inyo, so rationalized local planning system. Gusto natin plan for the management of local territories and long-term guide for the physical development, land use. Yung sample ng other regulatory, yung sinasabi ko po kaninang land tax. Yan. So tatandaan natin pag nag-review tayo, pwede tayong gumamit ng mnemonic, no? So pag CLUP, yung 4 policy areas, no? Pag CDP, pwedeng programs. Pag ELA, ito yung political agreement, term-based agreement. Pag LDIP, investment or projects. AIP ay pesos. So, siguro pwede kayong gumamit ng ganyan na mga mnemonic para mas madaling yung natatandaan pag nag-review. Yan. Yan. Differences between CLUP and CDP. Yan. Sabi natin kanina, LUP, 9 years. CDP, 6 years. Tapos pag sinabi natin, LUP, spatial siya, no? Spatial, physical, form. Pag CDP, sectoral. No? LUP, encompassing territorial jurisdiction between land and water. So kaya ang ibang mga LGUs, yung LUP nila ay comprehensive land and water uses plan. Yan. Comprehensive CDP, embracing all development sectors. No? So yun 5 sectoral developments natin. LUP defines the policy direction for the use of land resources within territorial jurisdiction. No? So ano ba yung spatial direction doon sa paggamit ng lupa and ano yung development trust natin? So halimbawa dito, agricultural development ba yan? Ecotourism development ba yan? And then saan yung mga allocated na areas for development. Pag CDP, outline specific application of the available land and resources. So ano yung mga available land and resources. Pag CLUP, yan, accounts available supply of land resources. Kaya di ba pag sa LUP, no, nagko-compute tayo doon ng land supply and demand. No? Land supply and demand. Tapos sa CDP, demand of land resources based on sectoral development goals. So halimbawa sa social, nakita nyo na kulang yung mga school facilities, kailangan magkaroon ng mga social support infrastructure. Kasi nga yung bulk ng population, yung projected population ay ganito in a given certain of year. So, papasok doon yung demand for land resources based on sectoral development. Then CLUP, yan, 4 policy areas, production, protection, and infrastructure. Ayan, 5 sectorals sa CDP. CLUP diagram that desired physical pattern, growth. So, asan doon yung mga growth center, secondary growth nodes. Pag CDP provides convergence mechanism to integrate NGAs and plans with local government plans. So, kailangan naka-align din yung development sectoral goals natin sa national government agencies plans with the local plans. Takes a long time to carry out. So kaya 9 years is CLUP and CCDP, short time frame, and should be used as a medium to implement the CLUP. And local counterpart ni CLUP, National Regional Physical Framework Plan, and then si CDP ay yung medium term Philippine Development Plan at yung Public Investment Program. Yan. So yan yung difference ng CLUP. So let's proceed to the process of comprehensive land use plan. Sino na po dito yung nakagawa ng CLUP? I know yung mga MPDCs natin. Sino pong nakagawa na ng CLUP? Na ginoto talaga yung buong proseso ng 12-step process natin. Ayan, may isa. Meron pa po ba? Mukhang isa lang yung nakagawa ng CLUP. Yung mga sa LGUs po, yung mga MPDCs natin. Ayan. So, we have the HRB Guidebook, Volume 1 and 3. So, discuss ko lang yung Volume 1, yung planning process, and then sort of Volume 2, yung sectoral development process. So, pag Volume 1, so ito yung main components niya. So, we have introduction, ano yung 12-step process ng CLUPs, and then ano yung guide to writing the CLUP and zoning ordinance. And then for the volume 2, ito yung sectoral studies natin, no? So we have the ecosystem analysis, sectoral studies, and the special area area studies. So madami tayong tinitingnan, no? So dito sa example, for the ecosystem analysis, so nakasama na natin dito yung CIDRA, yung Climate Change Adaptation and Disaster Risk Reduction, yung forest ecosystem, coastal and marine biodiversity, and then yung sectoral studies natin and special area. So please read lahat po to ng CLUP guidebook natin from Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. Imagine niyo na lang na 45% ng board exam ay kukunin sa planning process. So if you read all of these guidebooks, malamang meron na kayong sure na 45%. Ayan. So ano ba yung elements ng enhanced CLUP guidebook? So dati may mga 2007 pa, meron na tayong CLUP guidebook, and as we go along with the process, so ini-enhance natin yung mga CLUP base sa emerging context, emerging issues and emerging issues and problems. So ngayon, yung 2013 CLUP guidebook natin, ito yung mga major components na niya, no? So ito, climate change adaptation, DRR mainstreaming, naka-mainstream na. Kaya sa CLUP natin, hinahanap din natin kung mayroon ba kayong hazard profiling, meron ba kayong mga hazards map, meron ba kayong mga priority mitigation measures doon sa mga areas that are high to hazards. And then yan, yung CIDRA. And we have also the reach to reap approach, no? Yung integrated ecosystem beach approach. So ito, tinitingnan natin sa CLUP, mas tinitingnan natin yung forest, coastal, and biodiversity. And we have also special concerns, no? So kung mapapansin nyo sa CLUP natin, sa 2013 guidebook, meron na tayong ancestral domain. So kasi may mga LGUs tayo na merong heritage or ancestral domain na context, green growth, heritage, conservation, and urban design. No? Actually, pumapasok na rin dito yung green growth and urban design yung public health, yung pandemic. No? So after this pandemic, parang yung CLUP din natin, gusto natin, dapat may resilient and green recovery and public health promotion sa ating CLUP. Sa urban design, di ba, parang kino-consider na rin natin ngayon yung mga open spaces, yung mga parks, no? So parang mas yung flow ng air, and mga bike lanes, no, mga protected bike lanes, and mga hand washing facilities sa public areas. So yun yung special concerns natin. Yan, so elements of group guidebook. So, di ko na po isa-isahin, pero ayan yung ating mga elements of guidebooks natin. So, literally framework, integration of public and private land use management. So, tatandaan po natin yung 4 policy areas. So, sabi natin, every population added to a certain area requires additional space for living and additional space for making a living. So for space for living, saan natin, halimbawa kung may bulk of population, saan natin dadalhin no, yung projected population natin in this coming years. Space for making a living, so nandito yung settled infrastructure support facilities. So ito, sample, protected areas. So ano ba yung mga tinitingnan natin? No? Pag si LUPs, dinidelinate natin asan yung mga protected areas natin. HIPAS, non-HIPAS, and yung protected agriculture zone, agricultural. Ito yung NPAAD, STAP-DC, and environmental constraint areas. So pag sinabi natin protected areas, hindi na dapat natin siya lalagyan ng development, no? Hindi na tayo mag-propose doon ng for residential, commercial, no, sa protected areas. Settlements, areas, so dapat ma-identify natin saan ba yung mga settlement areas suitable for residential. Ano, so urban, town centers, rural upland, including yung IP settlements natin. Sa infrastructure areas, tinitingnan natin dito yung mga transport network. And then yung mga social and economic infrastructure, no, administrative support. And for the production areas, ano ba yung tinitingnan natin? So agriculture, kasama dito yung mga croplands, fishery, livestock, and poultry. And industrial, commercial, and tourism. So that's the production areas. Sa production areas, minsan sinasama din yung forest production kasi di ba yung forest natin sa land use plan, we have production forest and protection forest. Pero kung sinasama natin yung forest production, kailangan ay may limited lang yung ating parang activity for the sake of environmental protection. Principles and approaches in land use in comprehensive land use plan. So gusto natin, pag nagsi-LUP tayo, ang watershed as platform, yun isa sa mga approach. So ito yung sinasabi natin na reach to reef. No, siguro madalas yung marinig na reach to reef planning tayo. So ibig sabihin from forest to lowland. So dapat napaplano natin. So watershed covering reach to reef features serve as the vertical and horizon platform and framework in land use preparation and management strategies and policies. Integrated watershed or ecosystem management framework as physical reference for the formulation of sectoral development plans. So tingnan natin. So ito yung sinasabi natin na reach to reef approach, no, or yung integrated watershed ecosystem framework. So example, ito yung forest, upland, lowland. No? So ang gusto natin, pag nagsi-LUP tayo, tinitingnan natin lahat, reach to reef. So, example, kung LGU tayo, what if ang na-plan lang natin ay yung lowland? Hindi natin na-plan yung mga sa upland or forest. So, wala tayong policies, wala tayong mga instrument or regulatory na ginagawa dito. So, halimbawa, meron parang deforestation. So, in case na matakas yung ulan, and naka-landslide, saan bababa yung galing sa forest? Sa lowland. No? Kaya ito yung parang universe nito. No? We want that LUP is an integrated watershed to use the integrated water use ecosystem framework. No? Yung reach to reef approach. Ganun dapat yung pagpaplano. Hindi yung lowland lang, dun lang yung i-plan natin. So dapat reach to reef. So ayan, forest, upland, lowland, saka coastal. So, ito, pinapakita lang dito na yung mga iba't ibang mandated plans. Like ito, we have the FLUP, or yung the Forest Land Use Plan, no? And Integrated Resource Management Plan. So, ang national government, ang government agency na mandated for the FLUP or providing technical assistance for the FLUP and Integrated Resource Management Plan ay ang DNR. So, kita nyo, nakapokus sila doon sa, kung sa reach to reach approach, doon sila sa forest at saka upland. But the CLUP, ano napapansin nyo sa CLUP? CLUP, no, encompassing lahat, no, from forest to lowland, forest, upland, lowland, and coastal marine. So, yun ang tinitingnan natin pag sa CLUP. Ayan, kita-kita mo, no? Encompassing siya. Reach to reap talaga dapat ang comprehensive land use plan. Yung ancestral domain, sustainable development protection plan, from forest to coastal din. Kasi we have also ancestral domain from the coastal or marine ecosystem. Yan. For the comprehensive land use plan pala, yung mandated agency ay, ito, luma pa to, HRD, but now we have the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development for CLUP. Ancestral domain, sustainable forest, NCIP, National Commission, Indigenous People. And then for the Integrated Ecosystem Management Plan, so we have the DNR. So focus din sila sa forest. Ang CDP ay encompassing din siya, or dapat tinitingnan din natin yung Integrated Ecosystem Framework, yung reach to reap. So from forest, upland, lowland to coastal and marine. So mandated agency for CDP is DILG. Ayan. And we have other mandated plans din na nandito sa ating integrated ecosystem framework. So we have the Agrarian Reform Community Development Plan, CDAR, and we have the Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Plan, MP, which is led by the Department of Agriculture, and infrastructure planning, yung various national government agencies. And Coastal Fisheries Resource Management Plan. So ito ay kay DILG pa rin. Yan. So pinapakita lang ulit natin yung Integrated Ecosystem Framework. And ito, the CLUP and CDP, encompassing the forest, upland, lowland, and coastal marine ecosystem. Yung reach to reach approach natin. Yan. Another principles and approach in CLUP process. So next, inclusive and expansive government. So gusto natin, pag bumubuo tayo ng comprehensive development plan, dapat well represented yung mga yung technical team natin, no? Not only the local development council, but we have also the civil society organization and private sectors in preparing the enhanced CLUP. And good governance promote collaborative partnership. So, ang gusto natin, collaborative partnership and inclusive participation of the state and civil society. Yung meaningful, ito kadalasan din sa mga local government units, no? So, ang meaningful participation kasi sa atin, hindi yung iniimbita lang yung mga civil society or people's organizations sa CLUP process, no? We want them to hear their voices. We want them to tell their issues, problems, and concerns. So, dapat na mayroon silang meaningful participation. Hindi lang yung nagpa-attendance na lang for the sake of requirements ng DSUD, no, na dapat may ilang percent ka ng participation ng civil society. So, kailangan natin narinig sila at napapakinggan natin kung ano yung mga issues nila at nalalagay natin doon sa CLUP or sa CDP natin. Next is co-management principle. So we have inclusive participation. The third one is co-management principle. So as per RA 7160, local government units shall share with the national government the responsibility in the management and maintenance of ecological balance within their territorial jurisdiction, subject to provisions of this code. No, so itong co-management principle, kung makita natin doon sa integrated ecosystem framework, nakikita natin na may mga other national government agencies na encompassing doon sa forest, lowland, upland. So kailangan co-management principle, halimbawa si local government unit, meron kang forest. So malamang ang sa mga magiging partners mo dyan ay ang in terms of co-management ay ang DENR or agriculture, kung meron kayong NPAAD, sa DCC, Department of Agriculture. So yun yung parang universe ng co-management principle. And then fourth, gender responsive and sensitivity, no? Integrating yung gender and population relationship in the entire planning and implementation process to ensure sustainable development. So gender responsive dapat tayo. So hindi lang yung male, female, but other gender identity. So we should dapat kasama din sila doon sa pagpaplano. And then yung mga issues din ng mga gender. So para mas maging gender responsive and sensitive yung ating plano. So dapat nakapasok din siya doon sa technical findings o sa issues and concerns. And then fifth one, integration of barangay development plans, no? Yung barangay development plans, bottom-up approach. So dapat yung mga barangay development plans ay nakukonsider din natin doon sa CLUP, no? Are formed and tasked to prepare development plans to be submitted to the sanggunian. So usually pag nag-CDP, kinokollect din natin yung mga barangay development plans and then kinoconsolidate natin and yun, sinasama natin doon sa plan formulation. Bottom-up approach, ito in absent of the barangay and municipal development plans. So kung wala talagang mga municipal plans, ang local government, walang barangay development plans, yung local planner may use yung mga level up, higher tier level up plans, yung provincial, regional, and other higher level plans as a basis of framework for the updating of CLUPs. So kung wala kayong mga barangay development plans, so pwede kayong magbase doon sa mga higher level plans. Provincial, regional, national. Yan. So hindi ko na, ito yung ating, again, yung relationship ng LGU plans. So 12-step process ng comprehensive land use plan. So isa-isahin lang natin. So itong step 3, yan, step 1, organize. Step 2, identify stakeholders. Yung step 3 at saka 4, medyo interchangeable siya, no? So sa practice, kadalasan, inuuna itong si step 4 kasi ito yung analysis ng situation, no? Nandito kasi yung mga technical findings, issues na magagamit mo din when you refine or revisit yung vision ng LGU. Step 5, so pag meron ka ng vision, defined vision, step 5 is the setting of goals and objectives. And then, establishing development trust. So, establishing development trust, ano ba yung parang development trust ng LGU? So, agriculture ba yan? Ecotourism? Agro-industrial ba yan? Step 7, when you have already established development trust and spatial strategies, dun ka na magpe-prepare ng land use plan, considering yung 4 policy areas. No? And 8, drafting ng zoning ordinance, which is the implementing tool, the CLUP. 9, step 9, kakandak ka ng public hearing. Sa public hearing, kailangan bumaba, barangay-barangay. Kailangan may public announcement on CLUP. Step 10, review and adopt the approved and CLUP and zoning ordinance. So, i-review and adopt. And step 11, implement the comprehensive land use plan and zoning ordinance. And 12, monitor and evaluate the CLUP and zoning ordinance. So ito yung step process CLUP 12-step process. So please memorize na lang just in case na lumabas ito sa board exam. Pero I think ito parang lagi naman siyang lumalabas. So parang, halimbawa, ano ang step 9 sa CLUP process? So kaya kailangan din medyo kabisado niyo yung 12-step CLUP process. Step 1, organize, no? So dito ina-assemble natin yung mga personnel, resources, and support needed for the planning process. So these are the steps in the step 1. So discuss the need to prepare or update the CLUP. So pwedeng magkaroon kayo dito ng executive order. No? So kadalasan ang LGU na mag-update ng CLUP, meron silang executive order designing members of the planning team and technical working group pag na-organize na yung team. Then dapat defined, meron kayong organized planning team, orient the planning team, inventory of mga available information. Meron ba tayong mga available plans, yung mga available information regarding on sa LUP? Prepare and disseminate ISC materials. So, balikan ulit natin, no, components ng local planning structure. So, ito yung political and technical. So, political, sanggunian, LDC, congressman, and civil society. Sa technical, dito pumapasok si Local Planning and Development Office, mga department heads. So, kadalasan, dito yung local planning team ng CLUP updating. So, ito yung mga suggested sectoral committee compositions. No? So, no, parang, syempre, i-organize na natin yung planning team. Ito per sectoral, so social. Ito yung core team. But we have also yung expanded technical working team and full-blown sectoral committee. So, kung gusto nyo, sa LGU, pwedeng si core team muna yun i-organize natin. But we would like to suggest na dapat mas gusto natin na participatory, no, nakakasama lahat. So baka mas maganda kung full-blown or yun, at least yung expanded technical working group. So hindi ko na isa-isahin, ito yung mga sectoral committee, and sa LGU level, ito yung mga representatives or members ng core technical team. So halimbawa sa economic, nandito sa PESO, tourism officer, agriculturist, LDC, sanggunian. Yan. So ito, ang source nito ay base sa RPS natin. So baka lumabas sa exam, parang ano yung mga suggested sectoral committee composition as per the rationalized planning system. So ito yung ating suggested composition. But we have also from the HRB guidebook, ito yung suggested composition of the planning team natin. So for the planning core group, we have the MPDC, planning officer, yung architect or urban planning planner, DRMO, especially Senro, and we have the other support group. And sa technical working group, kung makikita nyo doon sa HRB guidebook, para mas expanded siya, no? Kung doon kay Prof. Cerote ay sectoral yung kanyang composition ng committee. Sectoral din naman dito sa HRB guidebook, but we have special concerns like yung forest and ancestral domain, coastal and marine, CCA and DRR, heritage, and yung green growth urbanism. So yun yung sa HRB guidebook. So baka matanong, so as per HRB guidebook, ano yung suggested composition of the planning team? So kindly read na lang this composition. Step 2, identify stakeholders. So nag-organize ka na from step 1, yung next step is i-identify mo na sino yung mga stakeholders natin na essential for the updating of CLUP. So we want to recognize and engage participants who can play yung active role doon sa ating planning process. So kahit mga transport group, i-invite nyo. So kung may vital role talaga sila doon sa planning process. So identify stakeholders, prepare action plan for approaching and involving each person or group. Tapos develop IEC materials. Yan. Gusto natin laging may IEC materials, no? IEC plan para nalalaman ng locality na meron updating ng CLUP. Mas na-involve yung lahat ng stakeholders. For the step 3, for the vision, ito na yung define the future that you want. So ano ba yung vision ni LGU? So usually ang ginagawa dito ay binabalikan natin yung dating vision ni LGU, no? So ginagawan siya natin ng assessment, yung vision reality gap assessment. Yan. So ito yung step, review and the vision of goals and objectives of the existing CLUP, reformulate or formulate the vision statement, present the refined vision statement to the Local Development Council for endorsement to the Sanggunian, adapt vision, and disseminate the adapted. Ayan, so ito yung in-explain ko kanina na yung step 3 at saka 4 medyo interchangeable siya. So kadalasan pwedeng mauna si analyze the situation or pwedeng mauna si setting the vision. But in practice, mas maganda na nauuna si step 4 kasi alam na natin kung ano yung issues, mga problems and technical findings na lumabas per sectoral para ma-consider natin doon sa refined vision ng LGU, sa formulation ng vision. Ayan. Yan. So how? Revisit the previous vision of the LGU. Vision should be formulated with descriptors from 5 development sectors. So gusto natin yung vision ng LGU ay encompassing pa rin doon sa 5 development sectors natin. Yung social, econ, infra. Tapos bubuo kayo doon ng mga sample description using doon sa visioning workshops. So example, dito sa sample description, social, empowered, resilient. Doon sa economic, example, progressive or robust agricultural. And then, paano ba natin minimeasure yung vision natin? So meron tayong vision reality gap assessment. Ito yung kadalasan na ginagamit natin, yung VRG analysis, no? Second, use of guide questions, visual preference survey. So sa VRGA, so ito yung kanina, no? So people as society, ito yung sa social. So sample descriptor niya, example, empowered, vigilant, resilient. So ano yung mga success indicators niya? Base doon sa dati yung CLUP. Diba, public consultation, made integral part of decision making. Tapos i-rate nyo yan, may rating. Ito yung ating criteria ng rating. So ito, halimbawa ni-rate niya ng 1, ibig sabihin, very little pa lang yung na-attain doon sa ating descriptor in terms of people as society. So baka pag nag-refine kayo ng vision nyo, baka i-adapt nyo pa rin itong empowered kasi nga hindi pa siya na-attain. No, pwedeng i-retain. Ito, vigilant, 2. So mababa din yung attainment niya. So pag nag-reformulate kayo ng vision, pwede ma-retain ito kasi based sa vision reality gap natin, mababa yung score niya. Yan. Yan. Step 4, analyze the situation. No? So, identify the issue. Dito i-identify natin yung mga issues, potentials, and future development needs and special requirements ng city. No? So, sample. So, paano ba na tayo nag-update ng situational analysis? So, makakonduct muna tayo ng mga sectoral studies para ng area. And we will conduct also yung mga physical studies, assessment ng mga land uses. And ipaprocess natin yung mga data. Kaya parang dun pa lang sa first step ng CLUP, no, meron na tayong data collection or data gathering. Tapos discuss the existing situation of the city or LGU, establish the significant historical land use trends, no, and prepare and consolidate. Then discuss the municipality's potential comparative advancement and determine the possible interventions to address the priority issues. So ito yung ating process kung paano tayo nakakonduct ng situational analysis. So ito yung sample sectoral analysis matrix na ginagawa natin, no? So halimbawa social, ano yung mga technical observations, ano yung implications, and ano yung mga policy interventions. So ito ay kadalasan na ginagamit ng local government units when they are updating yung comprehensive land use plan. And you have also other sectoral and thematic studies, no, na tinitingnan. So yung demographic, socioeconomic infrastructure, coastal and marine forest climate change, and yung kaninang other concerns. So kailangan naka-integrate din siya doon sa ating situational analysis. Yan, cross-sectional analysis and integration of two land use planning. Ayan, existing land use area. So, halimbawa forest and forest land, yung mga subcategories, no, kailangan natin ma-determine kung ano yung existing land area niya. Tapos ilang percent sa total. Yan, sample lang naman, sample siya. Existing land use distribution. So, ito lang din mga tinitingnan natin ng mga subcategories. So, paano tayo mag-determine ng available land supply for expansion area? So, meron tayong computation, pero sa pagkakatanda ko sa board exam, parang wala naman nagpa-land supply and demand computation. But just in case, just ano na lang itong formula. So, meron tayong TLA, total land area of the city o municipality. Tapos, PCA, yung mga protection area. So, ito, mga protection area, binabawas natin siya. No? Binabawas natin siya doon sa land supply and demand. Hindi dapat siya, yun yung mga special consideration, protection area, yung mga high risk areas, yung mga environmental critical areas. So example ito, total land area. So meron tayong 25 doon sa preservation plus doon sa 10 sa urban use areas plus 500 doon sa special uses. So, 10 hectares yung ating future expansion for areas for land supply and development. So, basta ang universe lang nito, so, binaminus natin yung mga for protection, preservation, and conservation areas na hindi siya pwedeng for future development areas, hindi siya pwedeng pagtayuan. Yan, SHIB mapping, nag-GIS na kayo last week, so baka napasadahan nyo na lang to. So pag nagla-land use kasi, yun, ginagamit natin yung GIS to determine the land supply and demand. So binabawas natin, in-overlay natin, binabawas natin yung mga protection area, environmental critical areas, high risk areas to any hazards. So yun, in-overlay natin. Land suitability matrix. Yan, stability. Yung ginagamit lang natin siya to determine kung ano yung mga suitable site for land. Yan, map requirement. Meron tayong general maps. Yan, baka lumabas din siya, base map, vicinity map. And yung mga thematic maps na sinasabi natin. So pag nag-CLUP, kailangan natin itong mga maps na to. Actually, madami pa tong maps na to, yung topography, climate, slope, land classification. So, hinahanap din ito sa LUP natin. Land use, population density map. Analytical maps. So, maps requirement, we have the general maps, thematic maps, and analytical maps. So, analytical maps, kasama dito yung erosion, flood hazard, land capability, soil stability, and yung other development constraints. Yan. Sa step 5, dito na yung setting the goals and objectives. So, diba meron ka ng define the vision statement, no, ng CLUP. So, bubuo ka na ng magpo-formulate ka na ng mga achievable goals and objectives based doon sa defined na vision ng LGU. Yan. So, goals and objectives. So, pag sinabi natin goals, dinefine lang natin kung ano ba ibig sabihin ng goals at objective. So, goal statement of desired outcome or medium or long term. Pag objectives, more specific statement, parang short range desired outcome siya ng result, parang activity siya ng goals. C-goals aims to address general problem or situation of a municipality or city as derived from the situational analysis, and C-objective may be viewed as subsets of goal and therefore contribute to the attainment of statement goals. So, yan sinasabi natin, pag nagpo-formulate tayo ng goals, dapat realistic, nakatranslate talaga siya doon sa vision statement, should be multisectoral in nature, may be formulated for each of the identified key problems. So dapat yung kanina sa step 4 natin, yung situational analysis, no? So dapat naka-align siya doon. And then, you should consider yung sinasabi natin na SMART in formulating yung objectives. So pag sinabi natin SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And objective must be SMART. Ayan, SMART. Sino yung proponent ng SMART Picnic? So, siya ay si George Duran. So, please take note, baka lumabas. So, sino yung proponent ng SMART Picnic in terms of formulating objectives? So, si George Duran. No. Step 6. So, step 6. So, meron na tayong defined vision. We have already set goals and objective. Yung step 6, ito na yung translating the vision and situational analysis in a desired physical form. No? Pag sinabi natin physical form, spatial na siya, no? Mga development trust. So, ang ginagawa natin dito, generate and evaluate the option of strategic development trust. And formulate development strategies to pursue the preferred development trust and i-evaluate natin. And magpe-prepare tayo ng structure plan. Dito sa development trust, ano ba yung mga sample na development trust? Halimbawa, si local government units, base sa context nila, base doon sa vision, base doon sa situational analysis, ano ba yung development trust? Sample, agricultural development, pwedeng industrialization, tourism development. So these are the sample development trust. Pwedeng combined development options. So pwedeng ecotourism or yun parang agro-industrial. Yan. Identification of land use policies. So dito pa lang sa step 6, dapat ina-identify na natin yung 4 policy areas. Yan. Ito, pag step 6 tayo, establishing development trust spatial strategies. Kasi nga pag sinabi natin development trust, ayun yung mga, ito. Pag sinabi natin spatial strategies, yung direction, saan papunta yung mga growth nodes mo, yung growth center mo, saan papunta yung agricultural development mo. So ito, yung mga sample multinodal urban form. So halimbawa, ito, urban star ata to, urban star. So ibig sabihin nito, yung development naka-focus lang sa kadalasan sa urban or sa CBD ng LGU. Ito, concentric urban form. So ito, meron siyang malaking growth nodes at meron siyang mga secondary nodes. Ibig sabihin parang dinidisperse mo yung development, no, saan papunta. Yan. So ito, kadalasan din itong lumalabas sa exam, yung mga multinodal urban form. No? So, madami pa yan. Pero I think na-discuss nyo na sa previous mga discussion yung theory on urban planning. So, lalabas ito. So, yung mga madidiscuss nyo in terms of theory, mas papasok siya dito sa step 6. So, pinapakita ko lang para yun ma-align nyo, yung ma-integrate nyo kung saan siya papasok sa CLUP 12 process. Yan, concentric urban form, urban star, linear development, grid, mga ganon. Then, pag sinabi natin spatial strategies, yun na, babalik ulit tayo dun sa integrated ecosystem management framework. So, yung strategy, a logically consistent set of individuals combined to create comprehensive plan. So, yun. So, kung sa LGU, yung context nyo, you have forest, you have coastal. So, ito, baka pwedeng sa development trust nyo, halimbawa sa LGU, yung development trust mo, coastal ka, pwedeng aquaculture development. Pwedeng, kung may upland sa LGU, pwedeng agri-ecotourism development. Kung forest, ito, ecotourism, pero ito, note, may conservation. So, ibig sabihin, light activities lang yung pwede nandun sa ecotourism. Yung parang nature hopping, yung walang mga hazardous or yung mga polluted na activities. Sample. And so paano ba natin ina-evaluate yung prepared development trust? Usually, pag nagkukulog tayo, minsan nag-iisip tayo ng nagpo-propose ang local government unit ng 4 na options, no? 4 options. Halimbawa, yung option 1, agriculture, yung option 2, ecotourism, yung option 3 ay agro-industrial or yung combined. So, doon sa 4 na options, pipili lang kayo ng parang isang preferred development trust na yun yung susundan ng sa LUP. Yun yung future desired vision ng LGU, no? So pipili kayo ng isang development trust. So paano ba mag-evaluate? So kung may 4 kayong options, kadalasan ginagamit dito yung goal achievement matrix. Saka ito lumabas kanina sa exam natin yung cost benefit analysis and yung planning balance sheet. So sample, ito yung mga sample na rating ng cost benefit analysis natin. So pinapakita kung anong benefits, gaano ka-costly yung ating pinopropose, and kaano ka-viable or visible yung options na yon. Ito yung kadalasan ginagamit sa GAM. Yun. Halimbawa ito, ipapakita ulit natin base sa itong vision, base doon sa refined vision natin, tapos yung mga descriptors. Magki-create kayo ng weight, depende sa LGU kung gaano kalaki yung weight nila as per element. Then ito yung mga sample na mga development trust. So halimbawa, ito option 1, si industrial development, agro development, 3, si micro small enterprise. So magre-rating sila. So kung ano yung lumabas sa result, yun yung kanilang preferred spatial strategies. Yun yung susundin na development trust for 9 years ni local government unit. So tatandaan nyo yung mga ito, yung tatlo, no? Kadalasan din ito lumalabas sa board exam. Baka nga mag-GAM achievement matrix pa kayo. Baka lang. And then, syempre kung may prepared spatial strategies ka na, dito nakapag-evaluate ka na, nung lumabas halimbawa industrial development, magpe-prepare ka ng sample structure map or concept map. So dito pinapakita lang kung saan yung ecotourism, development mo, saan yung mga growth nodes nyo. No? So dapat naka-delineate siya. So ano ba ito? Dito yung ecotourism development niya. Parang ito, dito yung protection zone niya. And then may mga alternative growth nodes pa tayo. Sila dito sa LGU. Ayan. So, ayun yung concept map. So after step 6, spatial strategies, may concept map ka na. Ang susunod ay yung step 7, yung preparing the land use plan. So translate the mission goals and objectives, including the development trust and spatial strategies into land use plan. So dito mag-determine ka na ulit ng land requirements and supply based doon sa result ng spatial strategies natin. And then review and match the land available for development. So kung agriculture ay kung aquaculture, agriculture, so ilan yung mga available land for development, no? Yan. So paano ba tayong nagko-compute, no? So ito yung mga kailangan nating demand, no, land demand. So ilan base doon sa mga sectoral studies natin, 'di ba, may projected population na tayo. So ito yung mga requirements for land demand, and then ilan yung land supply, no? So ito yung mga less land for protection, pina-minus natin siya, no? DPAS, mga non-DPAS, cultural, yung mga environmental critical areas, mga protected forest zone natin, biodiversity, high risk, mga NPAAT at DC. Tapos, titingnan natin kung match ba yung supply natin doon sa, yung demand doon sa supply. Pag hindi match, paano pag hindi match? Yan. Pag hindi match, so pwede tayong magkaroon ng mga supply management strategies. Yun, infilling ng mga vacant lands, yun, yung mga, ngayon binamandate din natin yung mga local government units to collect or to have inventory of government idle lands. So, pwede ito yung mga government idle lands, hanapin natin. Then, pwede dun yung parang proposed development. Pero, if those lands are suitable for residential, suitable for commercial. Tapos, increase in density, yung renewal or redevelopment, reclamation, agricultural land conversion. So, ito yung mga supply management strategies natin pag hindi nag-match yung ating supply. Then, we have also demand management strategies, yung improve rural services, new alternative centers and relocation resettlement. Iyan. Pero wag naman yung reclamation sa tabi ng dagat, no? Baka may biodiversity doon. So, kakaroon pa rin talaga ng mga feasibility study, environmental impact assessment, no? Minsan hindi din natin inaalaw yung nakakasira na management strategy sa lupa at saka sa forest. Then, so for policies areas, balikan ulit natin. So, sa pag-formulate ng land use plan, so kailangan, dito na papasok talaga yung 4 policies areas natin. Protection, settlement. So, parang basta nakalagay dito yung detalyadong mga policies, mga easements, mga buffer zones. Saka, easements at buffer zones. Step 8, so meron na tayong land use plan. Sa step 8, dito na papasok ang drafting ng CLUP. No? So, translating the land use plan sa ating zoning ordinance, which is the implementing tool of the comprehensive land use plan. So, yun, define the title and purpose of integrated zoning ordinance, designate specific zone. So, dito mag-designate na tayo ng specific zone based on the CLUP. So, mag-identify na din tayo ng mga regulations for each zones, district, and dito na rin papasok yung dinidiscuss natin kanina sa approaches ng CLUP, yung co-management principle. So, yun, inter-LGU, cooperation and coordination with national government agencies and other stakeholders. And determine any innovative techniques, design, the provisions, yung mga mitigation measures, no, na pwede natin i-adapt. And identify defined provisions to administer and enforce zoning ordinance and formulate yung ating zoning ordinance. So ito, pag sinabi natin zoning, division of a city, municipality into zones or sub-zones. So dito na yun, commercial, residential, institutional, industrial, agri-forest, according to present and potential uses of land to maximize, regulate, and direct their use and development in accordance with LUP. So basically, sa step 8 natin, we have 2 major elements. Yung zoning ordinance as regulatory, and then yung zoning map. So kailangan, kung may zoning ordinance ka, dapat meron din tayong zoning maps, no? Yan, nakalagay, nakadesignate kung saan yung mga areas for residential, commercial. Naka-color coding siya. And we have also 4 approaches ng zoning approaches, no? So meron tayong tinatawag na Euclidean zoning, so tinatawag natin conventional zoning, characterized by yung segregation ng land uses into specific geographic zones, yung mga such as building height, etc. And we have also performance zoning, yung sinatawag natin effects-based planning. No? So it does not rely on the segregation of land uses, but as a set of performance-based goal-oriented or yung parang point system to evaluate yung potential development proposed ng city or municipality. Tapos meron din tayong incentive zoning, no, anchored on rewards based on system for development that meets yung mga development objectives ng LGUs. to increase yung mga building heights or yung building floor areas. And we have also yung form-based zoning. So, regulate the type of land. Parang parehas lang sila doon sa performance, no, yung effects-based planning. But it is extended to guide the form that at proposed development will take, such as through regulation on building setbacks, heights, floor areas, and pedestrian, etc. So ito yung ating mga 4 zoning approaches. And then we have also variance, no? Pag sinabi nating variance, dalawa siya, variance and exception. Si variance, ito ay locational clearance, will be considered a variance if does not comply with technical requirements. So halimbawa, si LGU, may isang building na pinatayo pero hindi nag-comply doon sa building height limit or doon sa applicable performance standard base doon sa zoning ordinance. So ito ay tinatawag na variance pag hindi nag-comply. Yung exception, if does not comply with the allowed use provision of the ordinance. So example, si resident industrial yung zone pero tinayuan ng residential. So yun ay exemption. So halimbawa si commercial pero pinayuan ng industrial. So yun ay hindi in accordance with the zoning ordinance of the LGU. So yun tinatawag na exception. Kanina sinasabi natin, ito yung mga other regulatory approaches. So we have the zoning ordinance. Ano pa yung mga ibang other regulatory approaches? So we have land taxes as a regulatory tool. Yung mga real property, tinataksa natin. Yung special education fund, idle land tax, special benefit, and yung eminent domain. Other regulatory approaches natin. Zoning color coding. Ito, madalas din to lumalabas. So anong kulay si commercial? Pero please take note. So pag residential, meron pa tayong residential 1, 2, 3, commercial 1, 2, 3, institutional, and industrial. Yan. So zoning color categories. Then paano naman pag halimbawa may mga, diba, sa zoning ordinance natin, no, may mga hindi nag-comply, yung sinasabi nating variance at saka exception, no, may mga hindi nag-comply doon sa ating zoning ordinance na mga developer, kunwari, saan siya pwedeng pumunta or anong committee ang dapat nag-review noon or pumupunta ang appeals. So we have the local Zoning Board of Appeals, yung LCBA. So ito yung local special body created by virtue of this ordinance mandated to handle appeals for variances. So kung may tanong sa board, sino yung local special body created to handle yung appeals ng mga variances and exceptions? So yun ay Local Zoning Board Appeal, LCBA. So ano ba yung main functions ni LCBA? So act on applications of the following nature: variances, yung mga non-conforming uses, yung mga complaints and oppositions. Act on appeals or grant or deny. Pwede niya i-deny yung locational clearance, hindi nga pwede dyan tayuan kasi ito ay protection area. Then, act on appeals regarding the non-conformity of existing uses, buildings, or structure to the applicable provisions of ordinance. Then, decision of LCBA shall be created majority vote. So, may voting process din to pag may mga variances or exemptions na appeal sa local zoning board of appeals. Pero take note, baka may matanong, so parang sinong committee or anong appeals, sino nag-handle ng mga appeals for variances and exceptions. So local zoning boards of appeals. Ayan, ito yung composition, baka lang matanong. So composition ng LCBA, we have the city mayor, SB committee on land use. Yan, hindi ko na isa-isahin. And then kung may local zoning board appeals tayo para doon sa mga appeals for variances and exception, we have also yung review yung local zoning review committee, which is siya naman yung mga nagre-review nung CLUP, ever created under the City Municipal Development Council to review the integrated CO considering the CLUP based on the following reasons. Yung updating ng division ng CLUP, introduction of projects, so baka may mga newly proposed projects, sila din yung nag-review. And then ito din yung functions of the local zoning board. No? Review the zoning ordinance, pwedeng determine the amendments or revisions, and recommend changes. No? Recommend to the sangguniang panlusod o bayan, the legislative. So pag may tanong, sino yung mga, sino yung nag-review to integrate the zoning ordinance considering the CLUP, so Local Zoning Review Committee, LCRA. Ayan. Huwag niyong kakalimutan itong dalawa sa ating step 8. Yan. Ito yung sample zoning guide lang. Yan, protection, production. Step 9, conduct of public hearing. So ito, prepare lang natin yung mga required documents, no? So required documents for the public hearing. Gusto natin pag public hearing talagang hanggang down to the barangay level. And then pinapublicize pa to actually ito, may announce, publicize the public hearing consultation sa mga public spaces, sa mga government offices para malaman ng stakeholders na mayroong public hearing on CLUP. For the component cities at saka municipalities, at least one public hearing yung nirecommend natin. But for the highly urbanized cities and independent component cities, dalawang public hearings yun nire-recommend natin. Yan. Tapos dito na yung pa-finalize natin yung CLU, yung draft CLUP at saka CO. No? So, ibig sabihin sa public hearing, may mga major comments. Baka may mga major comments pa yan based doon sa stakeholders natin, based doon sa public hearing, which will be the basis to finalize yung draft CLUP at saka zoning ordinance. Yan, sample executive summary of CLUP na ipamimigay natin during or parang pinapublicize pag public hearing na dapat nakapost sa mga public spaces. So ito. Step 10, ito na yung review and adapt the CLUP. So na-public hearing ka na, na-finalize mo na yung CLUP, yung CO. Sino nag-a-approve ng CLUP? Exam tayo. What body reviews the comprehensive land use plans of the component city? A, RLUC, B, PLUC, C, HRB, D, SB. Yan, the answer is PLUC, Provincial Land Use Committee. Yan. Ayan, majority ata ay tama. Lahat tama. Ayan. Ito. So, pag component cities and municipalities, si Sangguniang Panlalawigan or Provincial Land Use Committee ang nag-approve, nag-review, no, ni-review nila and then in-approve nila yung CLUP. And then pag highly urbanized city and independent component cities, si DSUD before HRB with RLUC, no, Regional Land Use Committee. And then pag Metro Manila cities and municipalities, si DSUD ang nag-review at saka nag-approve. Pag province, yung provincial physical framework plan, provincial physical and development framework plan, si DSUD, RLUC yung nag-approve. So kadalasan pag nag-review, ito sa highly urbanized, nakaupo na pareho si DSUD at saka yung members ng Regional Land Use Committee. Yan. Take note on that kasi madalas din ito lumalabas kung sino nag-approve. And then step 11, implement the CLUP and zoning. Yan, implement na natin yung approve and zoning ordinance. Yan. And CLUP implementation tools. Kanina discuss na rin natin to. And then 12, monitor and evaluate. So kailangan, syempre kung may plan tayo na implement, kailangan natin i-evaluate and i-monitor, i-evaluate yung impacts. And then, ito yung mga proposed composition. Dapat kasama pa rin natin yung sa ancestral domains, forestry, coastal marine, heritage conservation, and climate change. So it's a multi-sectoral monitoring body. And then for the tips, so ito, please read. Remember, yung 45% ng boards ay saan? Planning process. Ayan. Break lang siguro. Sige. Before we proceed with CDP, are there any questions?
Yeah, mayroon tayong question sa chat box kanina, Shai.
May nagtanong, in case hindi po tumugma sa higher plans ang CLUP, meron po bang penalties or other implications sa LGU?
Pag hindi tumugma, kanina sabi natin, no, pag hindi tumugma, meron tayong mga management system na pwedeng gawin. No, pwedeng reclamation, land classification. Tignan natin sa land supply. Balikan ulit natin yung sa land supply, no? Ito. So ito kanina, pag hindi tumugma yung land supply and demand, meron tayong mga supply management strategies. Una, yung inflation ng mga vacant lands, yung mga idle government lands, pwedeng meron na tayong inventory. Pwedeng mag-increase tayo ng density. So kung urban, mas i-increase pa natin yung density mismo ng development. Redevelopment and reclamation and agricultural land conversion. Anong implication nito sa planning? Tama ba yung sabi?
More on may penalties ba sa LGU?
Yun.
May demerits ba?
Ayun, so actually, dun sa ating penalties or compliance with the standards, as of now and former sa LCRB, wala pa po tayo talagang penalties. No? Wala pa tayong mga penalties. But ngayon na may DSUD, kaya di ba parang ang dami pa rin mga LGUs talaga na walang CLUP. Kasi kung naka-establish na tayo ng penalties to non-compliance with CLUP, baka maraming LGUs na yung nagkaroon ng penalties not updating yung CLUP. As of now, wala pa po tayong any batas or provisions to penalize the government units. But since DSUD na, we are working on yung penalty side. So pag halimbawa sa LGU hindi nag-comply dun sa planning standards, baka may mga sanctions or penalty na matatanggap or administrative order si LGU once na hindi sila nag-comply doon sa planning standards. So halimbawa, kung hindi kayo according doon sa zoning ordinance nyo, kung nag-build kayo into protection area, so makakasanction kayo. Pero as of now, wala pa po talaga tayong legal basis to penalize yung local government on not complying with the planning standard of CLUP. But eventually, since may DSUD na, baka magkaroon na tayo ng penalty.
Yan.
Mahirap minsan kasi bogus ang gagawin nila na plan just to comply. Yes, I agree. Kaya dapat strengthen din natin talaga yung sa babaan, including yung clue formulation process. No? So ngayon mas nire-refine natin yung monitoring, hindi lang monitoring kung ilan yung status, but monitoring on clue implementation and enforcement ng zoning ordinance.
Yun. Thanks sila for the clarification. Ayan, pagdasal na lang natin na dumating yung time na talagang people take this seriously. And yung not just the the plans but the profession, and ensuring na ma-follow natin at aligned tayo from the national down to the local levels. There's another question, actually, when you were discussing the zoning ordinance, may iba ba daw po bang example ng regulatory measures in parallel to zoning ordinance?
Yung sinasabi ko kanina, like yung mga land taxes. Yun. Tapos may sinasabi dito, I mean, di po siya tumugma doon sa club provincial to national PPSPs. So meron po tayo doon sa provincial land, sa pag-review po ng CLUP, syempre dadaan po kayo sa series of review before approval. So doon, isa sa mga parameters po, take note of that sa mga mag-update ng CLUP, isa sa mga parameters po tinitingnan natin ay kung naka-align yung club updating doon sa mga higher level plans. So hindi po kayo papasa, hindi po ito ma-approve kung hindi po naka-align sa higher level plans yung CLUP nyo. So kailangan kasi naka-align siya sa regional, sa provincial, regional to national. Kasi baka may existing na development plan or development trust na pala si provincial na hindi nyo na-considered. O baka naman yung na-propose nyong development ay magkasulungat doon sa higher level plans, so tendency na hindi nyo mai-implement or yung support nyo from national government agencies, baka hindi din nyo, baka hindi siya visible for future desired outcome ng inyong locality. So, yun, hindi po yun papasa pag hindi po siya naka-review, hindi siya naka-align doon sa provincial physical framework plan, regional development plan. So, dapat naka-align po talaga siya. Isa po yun sa mga parameters.
Yun. And then, thanks la. Then may nagtatanong, ano din GI and SI sa DSUD?
Saan yung question?
Medyo nandun siya sa...
Saang discussion ito po?
Hi, Rich Dal. Baka you can give context doon sa question mo. Hello? Hi, Rich Dal. Rich Dal?
Dun sa institutional na subcategories.
Yung sa zoning,
Okay.
Ayun, under institutional.
general institutional and sub-institutional categories.
And then one last question, saan daw po pumapasok si MMDA sa review and approval?
Papasok po siya dito sa Metro Manila cities na review and approval. Kasama din pala namin ang MMDA. Sila din yung review and approval body in terms of CLUPs in Metro Manila. Sige po.
And do we still have questions for ENPA, Lala?
Ang haba lang ng discussions natin, pero please, pakibalik po talaga yung guidebooks natin kasi bulk on ay yun po talaga yung malabas sa boards. Malaki pa naman yung bulk, 45% ay nasa planning process.
Yes. Sabi ni Loie Ann, I think appropriate color coding po for zoning should be based din sa guidebook volume.
Yes.
Tama.
Ayan guys, so sabi nga ni Lala, talagang we really have to read the CLUP guidebooks from HLURD. Guys, we'll take a break muna mga 5 minutes and we'll get back to you for the next parts of our review and program today. So, see you later mga after 5 minutes.
Stay tuned,
Thank you,
guys.
guys.